centre announces a slew of reforms to boost infrastructure sector, approves extension of the applicability of new investment policy. 25,000 crore rupees to be spent in the next 5 years for signal modernization and 5 MHz spectrum to enhance rail communication and safety. The Union Cabinet approves MSP for Kharif crops for marketing season 2021-22. Recommends highest absolute increase in MSP over the previous year for sesamum, tur and urad. Assures farmers that MSP will continue. Also reiterates that the government will implement farm laws. Three Indian universities achieved top 200 positions in QS World University Rankings 2022. IISc Bengaluru ranks first in the world for research. Union Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank says India is taking a leap in the field of education and research and is emerging as Vishwaguru. Daily cases of COVID in the country are less than 1 lakh for the second consecutive day. Recovery rate increases to 94.55%. Restrictions eased in various states after improvement in corona cases. Lockdown ends in Bihar. Only night curfew will continue. Corona curfew ends in Uttar Pradesh. Unlock process begins in Rajasthan as well. Major setback to the Congress party. Former Union Minister and two-time Lok Sabha MP from Uttar Pradesh, Jitin Prasad, joins Bharatiya Janata Party. Says the BJP is the only national party in the country. The monsoon arrives in Mumbai a day earlier than usual. Heavy rains in Mumbai and surrounding areas with strong winds. Local train services affected after waterlogging on tracks at many places. The Met Department forecasts heavy rains in parts of Mumbai as well as Raigad, Thane, Palghar, Pune, Nashik and Marathwada in Madhya Maharashtra. Another French Open, Alexander Zverev and Stefanos Tsitsipas will face off in the first semi-final in the men's singles. Tamara Jancek of Slovenia and Pavlyuchenkova of Russia in the women's singles also enter the last four. Namaskar, you're the latest here on DD India and DD News. I'm Gautam Roy. Well, the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, announced a slew of reforms today to boost infrastructure sector. Addressing the media in New Delhi, Union Information Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar said that decisions have been taken to allot 5 MHz spectrum in 700 MHz band to the Indian Railways, extend subsidy period for factories and increase the minimum support prices for all mandated Kharif crops. Prakash Javadekar said that more 4G spectrum would be allocated to the railways to enhance security of trains.
रेलवे यातायात ज़्यादा सुरक्षित करने के लिए 4G स्पेक्ट्रम का रेलवे को ज़्यादा आवंटन किया गया है। अभी तक रेलवे 2G स्पेक्ट्रम का उपयोग करती थी। अब 5 मेगाहर्ट्ज स्पेक्ट्रम ये 700 मेगाहर्ट्ज के बैंड में दिया जाएगा तो बहुत ही उनके संचार व्यवस्था में और उनकी सुरक्षा उसके कारण ये बहुत फर्क पड़ेगा।
The Information Broadcasting Minister also said that automatic train protection and collision avoidance system would improve safety of trains. He also said that the speed of trains will increase due to real-time communication.
मेक इन इंडिया का ये बहुत सुंदर आविष्कार है और इसलिए यह ऑटोमेटिक ट्रेन प्रोटेक्शन सिस्टम से और कोलिजन अवॉइडेंस सिस्टम से यातायात की सुरक्षा बढ़ेगी। रियल टाइम कम्युनिकेशन के कारण रेल की गति बढ़ेगी, ज्यादा रेल चलेगी, लोगों की अधिक सुविधा होगी। ये 5 साल में काम पूरा होगा, उसमें 25,000 करोड़ रुपए खर्चा होगा।
The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs has given its approval for the proposal of the Department of Fertilizers for extension of applicability of New Investment Policy 2012. With the implementation of this policy, the subsidy will be extended to the fertilizers factories till 2021. Subsequently, the start of Ramagundam plant will add 12.7 LMTPA indigenous urea production in the country and help to realize the vision of Prime Minister Modi to make India Atmanirbhar, which is self-reliant in urea production. It will be one of the largest fertilizer manufacturing units of South India.
तेलंगाना में रामगुंडम फर्टिलाइजर एंड केमिकल फैक्ट्री है। यह अभी शुरू हुई है। फैक्ट्रीज के निर्माण में सब्सिडी देने की जो नई निवेश नीति 2014 में मोदी सरकार आने के बाद की थी, वो 19 तक जो फैक्ट्री शुरू होगी उन्हीं को मिलने वाली थी, लेकिन अभी 21 में शुरू हो गई है, तो उसको भी ये एक्सटेंड किया है। इससे 12 लाख मेट्रिक टन 12,70,000 मेट्रिक टन उत्पादन यूरिया का साल भर में होगा और एक तरह से आत्मनिर्भर भारत के दिशा में ये भी एक बढ़ता हुआ कदम है।
Now, the government has also increased the MSP of Kharif crops from marketing season 2021-22 to ensure remunerative prices to the growers for their produce. The highest absolute increase in MSP over the previous year has been recommended for sesamum, followed by tur and urad dals. In case of groundnut and Niger seed, there has been an increase of 275 rupees per quintal and 235 rupees per quintal respectively in comparison to last year. The differential remuneration is aimed at encouraging crop diversification.
प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में विगत 7 वर्षों में लगातार कृषि के क्षेत्र में एक के बाद एक अनेक ऐसे निर्णय हुए जिन निर्णयों से किसान की आमदनी बढ़े, किसान महंगी फसलों की ओर आकर्षित हो, किसान के घर में खुशहाली आए और खेती फायदे का सौदा बने। इस दिशा में लगातार प्रयत्न हुए।
And India has reported 92,596 daily new cases in the last 24 hours. The country has recorded less than 1 lakh daily new cases for the second consecutive day now. This is a result of sustained and collaborative efforts by the centre and states and union territories. India has been witnessing a continuous fall in the active caseload. The country's active caseload today stands at 12,31,415. The caseload is below 20 lakhs for 9 successive days. A net decline of 72,287 has been witnessed in the last 24 hours, and active cases are now only 4.23% of the country's total positive cases. India's daily recoveries continue to outnumber the daily new cases for the 27th consecutive day. 1,62,664 recoveries were registered in the last 24 hours. 70,068 more recoveries were reported during the last 24 hours as compared to the daily new cases. Out of the people infected since the beginning of the pandemic, 2,75,04,126 people have already recovered from COVID-19. This constitutes an overall recovery rate of 94.55%, which is showing an increasing trend. Now, the cumulative number of COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country has exceeded 23.9 crore today under the nationwide vaccination drive. 27,76,096 vaccine doses were administered in the last 24 hours. A total of 23 crore 90 lakh 58,360 vaccine doses have been administered through 33 lakh 44,533 sessions, according to the provisional reports that came in till 7 in the morning today. Also, a total of 19 lakh 85,967 tests were conducted in the last 24 hours across the country, and India has conducted over 37 crore tests so far. Now, while on one side testing has been enhanced across the country, a continued decline in weekly case positivity has been noticed. Weekly positivity rate is currently at 5.66%, while the daily positivity rate stands at 4.66% today. Now, this has remained less than 10% for the 16th consecutive day now. Let's now tell you about an additional step. Well, to ensure that the COVID vaccination certificates of beneficiaries are error-free, a special feature, Raise an Issue, has been added to the CoWIN platform. Now, users can make corrections to name, year of birth and gender on their COVID vaccination certificates if there are any inadvertent errors. Aarogya Setu has shared information on the steps to make steps that need to be taken to get the vaccine certificates corrected on its Twitter handle. Let's take a look at the simple steps to make the corrections. Step 1, of course, is to go to the CoWIN website, which is cowingov.in. Step 2 is to sign in by entering your 10-digit mobile number. Step 3 is to enter the 6-digit OTP that we will receive on your cell phone. Step 4 is to click on Verify and proceed. Step 5 is to go to account details, and Step 6, Raise an Issue. It is to be noted that citizens can edit their certificate only one time, and updated information will appear on the final certificate. Let's now talk about how the declining COVID numbers are having an impact on the lockdowns that were declared by the different states. If you talk about Uttar Pradesh, there have been easing in restrictions. In the state, COVID curfew was lifted completely from all districts, including Lucknow. However, night curfew from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. and weekend curfew will continue in all districts. Shopkeepers, meanwhile, expressed hope that business would be back on track within few days. District Magistrate of Lucknow expressed hope that people will follow all guidelines of unlock.
कोरोना कर्फ्यू था, इसको चूँकि एक्टिव केसेज जनपद लखनऊ में 600 से कम है, इसको लिफ्ट किया गया है और जियो के अनुरूप ही समस्त कार्रवाइयाँ होंगी। लेकिन एक मैं आपके माध्यम से सबसे अपील करना चाहूँगा कि कोविड-19 के संक्रमण को रोकने का सबसे प्रभावी उपाय हमारा कोविड एप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर है। 100% मास्क का प्रयोग करें, 100% सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग और सैनिटाइजेशन जो है प्रोटोकॉल उसका अनिवार्य रूप से प्रयोग करें। बिना कारण के अकारण अपने घरों से बाहर नहीं जाएं, कहीं पर भी भीड़ न लगाएं और बहुत ही ज़रूरी है कि बचाव के लिए अपने अपने टाइम स्लॉट्स पे अपना रजिस्ट्रेशन कराएं और टाइम स्लॉट्स के अनुरूप अपना वैक्सीनेशन जरूर कराएं।
And Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath meanwhile reviewed the prevailing COVID situation as well. He also held a meeting with the officials of Team 9 in Lucknow. In neighbouring Madhya Pradesh's capital Bhopal, certain relaxations have been given amid low cases being reported. Bhopal District Magistrate Avinash Lavania has issued orders and a set of new guidelines on Tuesday. Now, according to these new guidelines, curfew will remain in force only on Sundays, whereas earlier the curfew was applicable on Saturday and Sunday. Apart from this, night curfew will also remain in force from 8 in the night till 6 in the morning. According to the order, hair salons can also be reopened. However, schools, colleges, coaching institutes will remain closed. Shopping malls, swimming pools, cinema halls, clubs, gyms, theatres, picnic spots, tourist places will also remain closed. And if you head towards South India, well, Karnataka state government is also considering initiating the easing of curbs in 4 to 5 phases. The unlock process will begin from the 14th of June. The government has taken into consideration the Technical Assessment Committee report, which has suggested that a phased manner lockdown would be a wise move, as Karnataka has seen a drastic rise in positivity rate as cases were reported high during April and May before the lockdown was announced. In the first phase, the government may extend the present timing of 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. to buy essentials up to 12 noon. Malls may also be allowed to open for 4 hours. However, the night curfew after 7 p.m. seems evident. Total ban on rallies and fairs will also remain in place. Now, according to the health bulletin by State Health Department, the cases in the state are steadily declining, and Bangalore Urban, which reported over 25,000 cases per day in the past weeks, is now reduced to about 2,000 cases per day. Karnataka government also aims to further control the spread of infections to 500 per day. And the Telangana government has meanwhile extended the COVID-related restrictions in the state for 10 more days till the 19th of June amid a decline in the number of coronavirus cases in many parts of the state. The state government has said that the night curfew from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. will continue. Shops and business establishments will be closed by 5 p.m. However, relaxation in timings will not be granted in places like Satapalli, Madura, Nalgonda, Nagarjun Sagar, Munugode, Devarakonda, Miyalgura assembly segments due to a rise in COVID-19 cases. Now, the Indian Army remains committed to shouldering the challenges faced by residents of border areas, especially during these testing times of COVID. The Army is helping the medical department of Baramulla in its vaccination drive among the people living along the line of control in the Uri sector of Baramulla district in North Kashmir. The Army, in collaboration with civil administration and local medical and healthcare authorities, have organized vaccination camps as well as logistically supported the frontline healthcare workers in carrying out vaccination drives among villagers close to the line of control. The medical team, with the help from Indian Army, travelled many kilometers to reach these border residents for the vaccination drive. One such COVID vaccination camp was held at Boniar area of LOC in Uri sector of Baramulla, where the Indian Army helped the healthcare workers to reach these people. The local residents of these villages close to the line of control lauded the step taken by the Indian Army in getting them vaccinated. A former Union Minister and two-time Lok Sabha MP from Uttar Pradesh, Jitin Prasad, joined the Bharatiya Janata Party today in the presence of Union Minister Piyush Goyal at the BJP headquarters in Delhi. Prasad's induction into the BJP is seen as a massive gain for the party ahead of the assembly polls in Uttar Pradesh. Jitin Prasad had won from Shahjahanpur and the Dhaurhara Lok Sabha constituencies in the 2004 and 2009 Lok Sabha elections. And addressing the media on the occasion, Prasad said that the BJP is the only party which is truly national and others are limited to being regional. He thanked Prime Minister Modi and Home Minister for extending support and said that the BJP is working towards nation building.
मैंने पिछले कुछ वर्षों से 8-10 सालों से महसूस किया है अपने अनुभव में, राजनीतिक जीवन में, लोगों से मिलकर भ्रमण करके देश भर में, कि अगर आज कोई इस देश में असली माने में कोई राजनीतिक दल है जो संस्थागत इंस्टीट्यूशनल दल है, वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी है। बाकी दल तो व्यक्ति विशेष और क्षेत्र के हो गए, मगर राष्ट्रीय दल के नाम पे अगर आज भारत में कोई दल है तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी है।
3 Indian universities have achieved top 200 positions in QS World University Rankings 2022. IISc Bengaluru ranked number 1 in the world of research. QS, which is Quacquarelli Simons Global Higher Education Analysts, has today released the 18th edition of the World's International University Rankings. IIT Bombay has secured the 177th rank, IIT Delhi 185th rank, and IISc Bengaluru has secured the 186th rank in university rankings. Congratulating these institutions, Union Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank said that India is taking a leap in the field of education and research and is emerging as Vishwaguru. He said that initiatives such as National Education Policy 2020 and Institutes of Eminence are instrumental in ranking our colleges and institutes globally. The 52-day ban on trawling will begin on Thursday midnight in Kerala till the 31st of July, which will see over 3,600 trawlers off the Kerala waters. However, traditional fishing boats will be allowed to catch fish during this season. The annual ban was instituted to protect marine life during monsoon, which is also the spawning season for fish. All preparations have been made by the Fisheries Department to enforce the annual ban. All boats from outside Kerala, numbering around 800, have been ordered to leave the state by the time the ban begins. Monsoon has arrived in Mumbai and Maharashtra today prior to the average arrival date. Heavy rainfall lashed Mumbai city and other districts like Raigad, Ratnagiri, Sindhudurg today, throwing normal life completely out of gear. The IMD issued a warning of a heavy downpour for Mumbai and adjoining areas from the 9th till the 11th of June. Due to the heavy rains, the Mumbai local train services between Kurla and CSMT had to be suspended as water had submerged rail tracks between Kurla and Science stations. And due to waterlogging at several places in Mumbai, people witnessed long traffic jams on Western and Eastern Express highways as well. Some of the low-lying areas like Marunga, Sion and Dadar King Circle also witnessed waterlogging on the roads as well as along residential areas. The weatherman has issued a red alert for Mumbai, Palghar, Thane and Raigad in Maharashtra. And the Met Department has also issued warning of a heat wave in many districts in Rajasthan. Ganganagar recorded the highest temperature of 45 degrees Celsius in the last 24 hours in the state. According to the Met Department, which is the Met Center in Jaipur, the temperature has exceeded normal levels by 2 to 3 degrees Celsius in the state in the last 24 hours. Due to the formation of a pressure area over western Rajasthan, IMD also said that dust-carrying winds from Rajasthan and Haryana will continue to blow over the city, which will keep the pollution levels high. Now let's talk about sports, and in our Tokyo Olympic countdown, today we will take a look at a young shooter, Saurabh Chaudhary's profile. Tokyo-bound Saurabh Chaudhary is a big hope for a gold medal for India.
Saurabh is completely composed person, very hard-working people in the team.
बहुत कमिटेड है शूटिंग की तरफ से एंड एफर्ट बहुत है, मेहनत करता है.
Extremely focused, and I see great things happening for him in the future.
Looking at Saurabh, a child born in a peasant family in village Kalina in Meerut on 12th May 2002, no one could have imagined that growing up, this boy would bring about the golden period for India in the world of pistol shooting.
जी हमारे गांव के पास में गांव है, वहाँ पे शूटिंग रेंज है, वहाँ पे हमारे गांव से बच्चे जाते थे, तो उनको देख के कि ये शूटिंग करने जाते हैं कि चलो मैं भी देख लेता हूँ एक बार चल के कि कैसा है. तो वहाँ पे जाके देखा, ट्राई किया, अच्छा लगा, तो वहीं से स्टार्ट हुआ है.
शूटिंग के बारे में उसने बहुत जिद करी. उसके पापा बहुत मना करते थे, इनको पढ़ाई डिस्टर्ब हो जाएगी बेटा, ऐसा नहीं. वो कहता मैं पढ़ाई भी करूँगा पापा, मैं शूटिंग भी करूँगा.
Amit Shioran, the coach at Binoli, and the training methods in his shooting academy were both quite unique.
तो मैं क्या करता हूँ, ईंट से कराता हूँ. ईंट उसके हाथ पे लटका दिया, इस अगले हिस्से को पूरे को रिलैक्स, सारा का सारा नर्व सिस्टम यहीं से है. इस हिस्से को बड़ा संभाल के रखना होता है पिस्टल शूटिंग के लिए. जब मेरे पास सौरभ आया, उस समय मेरे पास 3 शेड के नीचे मेरी रेंज थी. उस समय ये इस तरह की सीलिंग लाइट वाइट कुछ नहीं थी. तो गर्मी के दिनों में जब पूरी वो 3 शेड 10-11 बजे यहाँ टेम्परेचर होता है 40, 42, 43, उस समय पूरा गर्म हो जाता था, लेकिन वो फिर भी खड़ा रहता था 12, 1 बजे तक. मैं उसको बोलता चल जाके थोड़ा रेस्ट कर ले अब, लेकिन वो बोलता था बस थोड़ा सा और गुरुजी, थोड़ा सा और कर लूँ, उसके बाद में चलूँगा. तो वो थोड़ा सा जो और था ना, वो थोड़ा सा आज उसको वहाँ लेके गया.
This was the time when Saurabh's coach suggested to his family that they buy a personal pistol for Saurabh. But buying a pistol was easier said than done.
पिस्टल 2.25 लाख रुपए की आई है और हमें कर्ज लेकर वो पिस्टल उसको दिला दी. और पिस्टल दिलाने के बाद में उसमें अपने जहाँ भी वो गया, जिसमें गया गेम में, उसका मेडल अच्छा पड़ा.
Saurabh started his international career at the 2016 ISSF Junior World Cup and won a silver at the Asian Championship in Tehran that same year. Then, Proving his ability in 2018, Saurabh also became the youngest Indian shooter to win a gold medal in the Asian Games. In the same year, he also won a gold medal at the Asian Olympic Games, along with a trio of golds in 10-meter air pistol competition, team competition and mixed team 10-meter pistols golds at the Youth Olympic Games. Along with winning 2 individual World Cup golds in 2019, Saurabh also bagged all 4 ISSF World Cups in mixed events and also confirmed his claim to the Tokyo Olympics.
He is not just satisfied कि हाँ मेरा अच्छा score हो गया and that is enough. He comes back, he says, okay, these were the problems, how can we sort it out? He has that desire to improve.
With the untiring cooperation of Sports Authority of India and TOPS, today Saurabh is spending all his time in preparation for the Tokyo Olympics.
जो मुझे सिखाया गया है मेरे गुरु ने, मेरे कोच ने, बस उसी को मुझे बेस्ट देना है.
With his simplicity and his precise aim being his greatest strengths, his eyes are set on Tokyo. Saurabh Kumar, who has won more than 60 gold medals, is the hope of 130 million Indians for the Olympics. Sports Desk, DD India.
Let's talk tennis now, and in the French Open men's singles, German 6th seed Alexander Zverev advanced to the last 4 in the tournament for the first time. He defeated Spain's Alejandro Davidovich Fokina. And Greek 5th seed Stefanos Tsitsipas showed his superior clay court quality against Russian rival Daniil Medvedev to reach the semi-finals as well. Tsitsipas sealed the win 6-3, 7-6, 7-5 in 2 hours 19 minutes. And that's all we have for the moment in this edition of the news right here on DD India and DD News. But for all the latest, do stay tuned to our channels.